Hello students, I'm Ritika Patel and I'm here going to explain some important topic of chapter 1, the fundamental unit of life cell. First of all, students, we teachers are preparing these videos and I have also prepared this video for your benefits, for your sake and convenience. Because in class, still some topic is still doubtful for you and you have still many doubt in this chapter because in ninth class, firstly you introduced with many topics and with many terms. So here I'm going to explain about the cell, the important topic of cell, that is the plasma membrane. First of all, let's start with the first slide, the introduction of this chapter, the fundamental unit of life. This is the cell. As we know from the 8th class, we already studied in ninth class and we are studying. The cell is the fundamental. Fundamental means the structural and the basic unit, structural and functional unit of the cell. Okay, so here no need to discuss about the this line ki justify, we have to justify this sentence ki the how the cell is the fundamental structural and the functional unit of the life cell, because this video is especially going for the plasma membrane, because plasma membrane is very important and doubtful topic for you, I know, because आपके क्लास में भी आपने काफी बार मुझसे काफी क्वेश्चन किए थे रिगार्डिंग द प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन. ठीक है, so in eighth class we had studied, and ninth class we have already studied that the each eukaryotic cell have the three functional reason, three main important structure in their cell. The three important structures are, move to the next slide. Three important features are this. So here the three important structure of each eukaryotic cell. The first is plasma membrane. You can call it cell membrane. We have already discussed about it. Nucleus and the cytoplasm. So this video is only for the plasma membrane. Now move to the next slide. Let's start with the structure of the plasma membrane. Before starting the any topic, I will explain first the structure of the topic, structure of the component or the cell organelles, and the role and the function of the component. Okay, now this is the plasma membrane structure. Plasma membrane, this is very important membrane for the cell, and this is the outermost covering of the cell, and that separate the content of the all the content of the cell from inside the cell from its external environment, isn't it? What is the basic work of the plasma membrane? It separate the content of the cell. Content means जितने भी cell organelles अंदर होते हैं, that is enclosed inside the plasma membrane. It separate that content of the cell from its external environment. Okay. Now structure, see the first point, plasma membrane is a living. Obviously, it is found in the all living organism. Okay, the plasma membrane is a living, it itself a living, very thin, because it is thin, so it is very delicate, elastic, matlab it have the much flexibility, and selectively permeable membrane. Selectively permeable membrane, this is the firstly introduced word in ninth class, selectively permeable membrane. अच्छा, इस word को हम लोग देखते हैं, selectively. What does it mean selectively? Selectively means selected, मतलब it, and permeable means मतलब it allow the entry of the material from the cell or in the cell, but the word selectively is added in this word, the permeable. Selectively, up now see the whole meaning of the selectively permeable membrane. That means those membrane which allow or permit the entry and the exit of the material in the cell and from the cell. That means it regulate the entry and the exit of the substances and the material from the cell and inside the cell. With this, it also prevent the movement of the some other beneficial material from the cell. मतलब if the plasma membrane will not there, अगर ये नहीं होती है cell में, then who will control the entry and exit of the material? कौन control करेगा? तो इट शुड बी देयर। जस्ट लाइक किसी भी इंस्टीट्यूट में जाते हैं, हमारे स्कूल में होता है, तो फर्स्टली गार्ड विल आस्क यू कि भाई वे आपको कहाँ जाना है और आप कहाँ से आ रहे हैं, और अब जब बाहर जाते हैं तो प्रॉपरली एक रजिस्टर मेंटेन करना पड़ता है हम लोग को। दिस इज द सेम प्रोसेस कि प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन इस रेगुलेट द एंट्री एंड एग्जिट ऑफ द ऑल द मटेरियल, जो मटेरियल सेल में आ रहा है या जो मटेरियल सेल से बाहर जा रहा है। ठीक है। नाउ नेक्स्ट थिंग इज S. J. Singer and J. L. Nicholson has proposed the fluid mosaic method for the explaining the structure of the plasma membrane. So S. J. Singer and the Nicholson chemically analyze the structure of the cell membrane. This structure, which you have seen or visible in your screen, this structure is the fluid mosaic model, and it is proposed by the single Nicholson. And why it is called fluid mosaic model? Because as you can see in the diagram, the this structure is just like a जैसे फ्लोर में मोजेक्स दिखते हैं, it looks like that कि fluid mosaic. And why it is called fluid इसलिए because it is a living thin and very delicate. Fluid का मतलब liquid, कुछ jelly like substance, ठीक है? So it is very thin delicate membrane, so this is called the fluid mosaic model. Okay, and it is only observed by the electron microscope, not by the simple or the combined microscope. Singer and Nicholson has already observed this fluid mosaic model by the electron microscope. It contains the two layer of the phospholipid. As you can see in the diagram, the yellow ball like structure, it is two layered structure, मतलब नीचे भी है और ऊपर भी है, तो it is two layered structure, and this structure is made by the phospholipid molecule. Phospholipid is a one word. When we break this word, so it is break into the protein and lipid. Okay, protein and lipid. And with this, in addition, some cholesterol and polysaccharide molecules are also embedded and submerged in this two layer of the phospholipid. Get it? Now, the chemical analysis has shown, chemical analysis मतलब जब इसको इस membrane का chemically observe किया गया electron microbe से, तो chemical analysis has shown that the membrane contained 75% of the phospholipid, मतलब cholesterol and polysaccharide. These molecules are found in this membrane in addition. Okay, but 75, मतलब most of the percent it is made by the protein and lipid molecules, isn't it? Now, this is about the structure of the plasma membrane. Have you understood this? Now, let us discuss about the role, function or significance of the plasma membrane. बच्चा significance आता है, importance आती है, role आता है, function आता है, जो भी आता है अगर आपके question paper में, the answer will be same. The plasma membrane function. Now let us start with the first point. This is the, as I told you in the earlier lecture, this is the outermost covering of the cell that separate the content of the cell from its external environment. This is already explained. ठीक, बहुत ही simple है. Second thing, because it is the outermost, जैसे हमारी skin होती है, it gives the shape and protect the internal organ of the body from the any damage or from the any external environment, जो भी high temperature, low temperature, सब चीजों से our skin is save our organs from these conditions. So just like the skin, the plasma membrane of the cell, because it's the outermost covering, it gives the shape to the cell. First of all, shape, and second thing, the protect the cell from the damage. Now, third point, it is also called the selectively permeable membrane. We know that why it is called selectively permeable membrane, because very simple, the plasma membrane is allow and permit the entry and the exit of the material in and out the cell. So it regulate entry and exit of the substances and the material. Substances like CO2 and O2 can move across the cell by the process of the diffusion. Okay, these two words are firstly coming in your syllabus. आपने कभी अभी तक कभी नहीं सुने होंगे, diffusion and osmosis. It is not a rocket science, बहुत ही simple चीजें होती हैं diffusion and osmosis. अभी जब मैं आपको daily examples दूंगी तब आपको you can understand very easily कि what is diffusion and what is osmosis. So substance like a CO2 and O2. So CO2 and O2 can move across the cell or the plasma membrane by this process diffusion. How it is possible? Now listen very carefully. Substances like CO2 when it is produced in our body, when the cells are respired. जैसे हम ब्रीथ करते हैं, हम क्यों ब्रीथ करते हैं? क्योंकि हमारे सेल ब्रीथ करते हैं। हम सेल इज ऑल्सो शो द रेस्पिरेशन। तो जब वो रेस्पिरेशन करते हैं तो इट एक्सक्रीट आउट द वेस्ट मटेरियल और वेस्ट गैसेस। CO2 is one of the that material. CO2 is the waste gases of our body or of the cell. When it accumulates in a very high amount inside our body or inside the cell, भाई हमारी बॉडी किससे मिलके बनी है? ऑर्गन्स, ऑर्गन्स टिश्यू और टिश्यू सेल से। तो जब सेल रिस्पायर करते हैं एंड इट एक्सक्रीट आउट द वेस्ट गैसेस, तो CO2 accumulate in a higher concentration in the cell. सेल के अंदर CO2 का कंसंट्रेशन काफी हाई हो जाता है। अब हम ब्रीथ भी कर रहे हैं तो कंटिन्यूसली वी आर टेकिंग द O2 गैसेस। अब क्या होता है? In the external environment of the cell, O2 is in higher concentration, isn't it? O2 is a higher concentration. क्यों? क्योंकि हमने breathe in किया और breathe out के लिए हम ready हैं, ठीक है? तो CO2 accumulate हो गई in higher amount inside the cell और outside the cell, cell के आसपास O2 higher amount में है। अब as per the law of the science, physics, chemistry, bio, हर जगह आपको यही चीज पढ़ा जाएगी। The molecules movements are always from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. Okay, because I'm repeating myself again. The molecules always across the membrane or start moving from the higher concentration to the lower concentration। जहां पर भी मॉलिक्यूल का कंसंट्रेशन हाई है, मॉलिक्यूल्स हमेशा वहां से स्टार्ट करेंगे चलना, और जहां पे कंसंट्रेशन कम है उस तरफ जाएंगे। ठीक है, हम लोगों ने बचपन से फोर्थ क्लास से लैंड ब्रीज और सी ब्रीज भी पढ़ा है ना, वो भी सेम फिनोमेना होता है। तो द कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ द CO2 is low outside the cell as compared the inside the cell. Vice versa, same thing is happen with O2. The O2 concentration is high outside the cell as compared to the inside the cell. अब क्या हुआ? बाहर O2 का concentration ज्यादा है और अंदर कम है, और अंदर CO2 का concentration ज्यादा है और बाहर कम है। Now molecules start moving as per the concentration gradient, मतलब from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. CO2 start CO2 molecule will start move from the inside the cell to the outside the cell, and O2 molecule move from outside the cell inside the cell. So from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So in this way, the gaseous exchange take place inside our body. Okay, and this process is completed in very few micro millisecond, मतलब हम लोग को पता भी नहीं पड़ता है, and this process is continuously going on in our body. So this is by the diffusion. Okay, from the higher concentration to the lower concentration, this is by the process of the diffusion. Okay, अगर इसमें कोई confusion है तो next slide is the of the this topic diffusion and osmosis आपके next slide में आपको clear हो जाएंगे। Now the movement of the water molecules through the membrane take place by the osmosis. Okay, बचपन से ही हम लोगों ने पढ़ा है, फ्रॉम द चाइल्डहुड वी हैव स्टडी अबाउट दिस, कि रूट एब्जॉर्ब द वाटर फॉर food making of the plant, for the photosynthesis. Okay, now here the root is absorb the water. So how the root is absorb the water? What is the phenomena? What is the science behind this? The water molecule is enter inside the root, it is enter inside the membrane of the root by the same process from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. Because the roots are deep go inside the cell, and around the root the water concentration is high, and continuously at the same time transpiration process is going on. What is transpiration process? The losing of the water molecule from the leaf. Okay, मतलब evaporation from the leaf. So this is transpiration process. तो ट्रांसफर एट द सेम टाइम ट्रांसपिरेशन प्रोसेस इज गोइंग ऑन। तो जब पानी की कमी हो जाती है पेड़ के अंदर, प्लांट के अंदर, देन इट विल स्टार्ट एब्जॉर्बिंग द वाटर मॉलिक्यूल थ्रू द रूट। अब रूट के आसपास कंसंट्रेशन वाटर का हाई है इन कंपेयर टू द इनसाइड द रूट। नाउ फ्रॉम द नाउ द cell which is lies मतलब जो साइड साइड में सेल्स होते हैं रूट के, वो now is they start absorbing the water molecule by the same phenomena, means from the higher concentration to the low. अब रूट के आसपास वाटर मॉलिक्यूल ज्यादा है, अंदर कम हो गया है. Now water molecule start from the outside, from the soil to the root. Okay, so in this way same phenomena they will follow when the water is enter inside the root. When one cell is absorb the cell, then उसके side वाली cell में क्या होगा, the water molecule will low. ठीक है. Now again it will transport from the higher concentration to low. So in this way the water molecule will transport one by one from one cell to the next cell and reach to the leaf by the same process from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. So this process is called osmosis. नाउ द क्वेश्चन इज अराइज कि मैम आपने जब दोनों ही चीजें आपने सेम बताई हैं तो इन प्रोसेस को अलग अलग नाम क्यों दिया गया, डिफ्यूजन एंड ऑस्मोसिस. नाउ यू कैन सी लास्ट प्रोसेस में मैंने वाटर मॉलिक्यूल के बारे में बात करी है, और जो डिफ्यूजन प्रोसेस है मैं उसमें बात कर रही हूँ CO2 और O2 के बारे में. ठीक है. तो डिफ्यूजन जो होता है इट कैन हैपन इट अगर इन इट अकर इन द सॉलिड लिक्विड गैस इन whole three stages. But जो osmosis होती है वो केवल it happen with the water molecule, with the liquid molecule, isn't it? Second thing, डिफ्यूजन किसी भी मीडियम में हो सकता है, गैस में भी हो सकता है, लिक्विड में हो सकता है, तो इट डू नॉट रिक्वायर द एनी मेम्ब्रेन. बट ऑस्मोसिस इज रिक्वायर्ड द मेम्ब्रेन. मतलब जब वाटर के मॉलिक्यूल या लिक्विड के मॉलिक्यूल फ्रॉम दे आर पासिंग थ्रू द फ्रॉम द वन साइड टू द नेक्स्ट साइड, तो देयर शुड बी अ वन मेम्ब्रेन इन बिटवीन दैम. एक मेम्ब्रेन इनमें बीच में होनी चाहिए. दैट टाइम दिस प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड द ऑस्मोसिस. फर्दर आई एक्सप्लेन इन नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. Now, this is the slide is about the transport system in the plasma membrane. This is very important topic, the transport system is plasma membrane, because in this topic we cover the most important thing of this chapter. We are going to cover the diffusion, osmosis, endocytosis, exocytosis. और अगर आपको एक बार ये सब चीजें समझ में आ गई तो आपको हाफ चैप्टर ऑलमोस्ट समझ में आ गया है, इसका मतलब. ठीक है. So this is the transport system is plasma membrane. As I told you in previous slide, कि this is the one work of the plasma membrane कि it regulates the entry of the substances and material. Basically, it is the transport system. जैसे अगर हमें एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाना है तो हम अपनी गाड़ी में जाएंगे, बस में जाएंगे, ट्रेन में जाएंगे, तो मतलब we follow the some transport system. So same thing is here कि plant is follow the some transport system, and plasma membrane is the most important feature of the transport system in our plant and even in our body also, isn't it? So let's start the transport across the plasma membrane. This is of two type, passive transport and active transport. What? Two type, passive transport and active transport. Now पैसिव ट्रांसपोर्ट इज बाय द टू वेज, मतलब ये दो तरीके से हो सकता है, इधर बाय डिफ्यूजन और ऑस्मोसिस, एंड एक्टिव ट्रांसपोर्ट बाय द एंडोसाइटोसिस और एक्सोसाइटोसिस. ओके. नाउ इन डिटेल we will study in next slide. Now, before starting the endoosmosis, exoosmosis, जो भी मैंने आपको बताया, diffusion osmosis, first we have to understand about the passive and active transport. These two type of the transport which is followed by the plasma membrane. ठीक है. तो पहले हमें इन्हें समझना है. तो with this difference, I'll explain each and everything to you. मतलब हम लोग डिफरेंस भी करते जाएंगे और हम लोग इसको समझते भी जाएंगे. Now, let's start with the point number of the passive transport. Point number one, this type of transport occur due to the concentration gradient of the material. What does it mean? Concentration gradient means जो मैंने आपको पहले वाली स्लाइड में बताया, concentration gradient means the concentration variation. जो ये concentration difference होता है ना, higher molecule और lower molecule, lower concentration molecule, so this is called a concentration gradient. So this type of transport is occur होता है क्योंकि due to the concentration gradient of the material. Now, next slide. This is also done by the concentration gradient, but it involves the movement of the material across the plasma membrane using the energy. Okay, passive transport में nowhere is written using the energy. Okay, but in this side, in the active transport, it is using the energy in the form of ATP. That's why it is called the active transport. Okay, that's why it is called the active transport. Now second type of difference, it does not involve any energy. Passive transport में it does not require any type of energy because it is always follow the rule of the science, matlab from the concentration gradient. Okay, but why in this type of active transport it need the energy in the form of ATP? Because active transport, because active transport involve the material across the plasma membrane in the bulk, means it involves the transport of large amount of substances, मतलब काफी large amount of substances, bulk में substances, it's across the plasma membrane. So for this the plasma membrane is using energy, और जब ये energy का use करती है तो this type of transport is called the active transport. And some molecules, they are they are crossing the plasma membrane without using the any energy, मतलब बड़े easily वो transport हो जाते हैं, उनको transport होने के लिए कोई energy की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है. तो that type of transport is called the passive. दोनों ही plasma membrane में हो रहे हैं, लेकिन एक टाइप के ट्रांसपोर्ट में एनर्जी की जरूरत पड़ रही है और एक टाइप के ट्रांसपोर्ट में एनर्जी की जरूरत नहीं पड़ रही है. ठीक है. नाउ the third point, it is a slow method of movement because passive transport, it is very smoothly going process and very easily it will be done across the plasma membrane. इसमें कुछ ज्यादा एनर्जी की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती है, तो ये बहुत ही अपने नेचुरल प्रोसेस से चलता रहता है, तो इट इज अ वेरी स्लो मेथड ऑफ मूवमेंट. But in next side, active transport, it is a fast method of movement. Why? Because energy is added in this type of transport. जब energy इसमें add हो गई है तो obviously इसका जो movement होगा उसकी speed भी बढ़ जाएगी, और it also transport the large amount of substance across the membrane. So this is the basic differences between the passive transport and active transport. The passive transport not required any energy, and active transport is required ATP, energy. Energy in the form of ATP. What is the full form of the ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. What? I'm repeating again. Adenosine triphosphate. And the next thing is passive transport, because it does not involve any energy. It is a very slow method. It is a very natural method. Or active transport, because energy is added in this and the large amount of substance are crossing the membrane. So it is a fast method. Okay. So this is about the difference between the active and passive transport. Now I'm going to close this video here. In next video, we will discuss about the osmosis and diffusion of the passive transport, and endocytosis or exocytosis is the active transport. So wait for the next video. Okay, just go through this topic, and if still if you have any doubt, you can ask in class. Okay, bye. Have a nice day.